The Toronto Defiant began their conquest in the big leagues against the Houston Outlaws for their inaugural season. With star flex support Neko suspended to start the season, the Defiant needed to steal a victory from the veteran Outlaw squad. With a majority of Toronto's roster locked in their role due to Neko's absence, Stellar fills the only flexible position for the Defiant over the veteran Asher. This victory for Toronto really showed off their resilience and overall ability as a team. Despite the impressive victory, work will still be needed to build team synergy within the squad. The miraculous reverse sweep helps Toronto immensely as they head into next week's difficult match, still without Neko. Toronto opened on Nepal with a very DPS heavy lineup. Ivy entered in on Hanzo, while Stellar followed in suit with Sombra. Curiously enough, Envy displayed his flexibility with his Pharah usage while attacking. To open Nepal Village, their dive was very coordinated and effective. Between Envy's engagement on Pharah and Stellar's effectiveness on Sombra, Houston seemed to have no response. The first stage was Toronto's, but Houston responded quickly. Following Village, both teams mirrored goats on Shrine. Yakpun switched to Winston, creating a very popular Winston goat setup for Toronto. Although hard fought by Toronto, Nepal fell Houston's way behind the tank performances of Muma and Spree. Needing to bounce back swiftly against a veteran roster, Toronto continued using the Winston-led GOATS composition to start on defense. On Numbani, both teams seemed to struggle to bolster a defense after each accumulated ultimates. Toronto swiftly defeated Houston on their first push, with neither team using a single ult. Once the second assault began, the floodgates opened. Time and time again, the attacking side would bowl over their defenders with their GOATS variations. Dante Sombra proved to be the major difference maker for Houston throughout Numbani. On both attack and defense, a team fight was won or lost with a perfectly placed EMP very commonly throughout the map. Both teams had their opportunities to put away the win, but unfortunately for Toronto, their best chance couldn't beat out the response from Houston. The Outlaws' second chance seemed to deflate Toronto as Houston took a commanding 2-0 lead going into halftime. Toronto returned from halftime, poised to attack first on Volskaya. Swiftly, Toronto captured the first point with 6 minutes and 5 ultimates in tow. With Beat, Trance, and Shatter, Toronto failed to snowball their attack onto the second point against Muma's aggressive Rhine. Dante Zarya was a crux for the Toronto Defiant at Volskaya's second point. Several pushes were halted by a powerful Graviton surge from Dante throughout the map's progression. Again and again with ultimates available, Toronto were halted by Houston's defense on Volskaya. Houston merely needed to finish the map to claim the map and the series. Muma teased fans with a potential Symmetra pick, but quickly swapped to Rhine for their assault. However, Houston changed up their typical composition, with Linkser on the Reaper. Toronto's response to the Reaper was very effective. This left the Outlaws without the time to switch back to their successful natural GOAT composition. What started as a difficult defense for Toronto resulted in a full hold on Volskaya and their first map victory of the season. Toronto began Route 66 looking to continue towards a potential reverse sweep. Yakpung's Winston had meshed well with Envy's aggressive diva, but Toronto shifted their main tank to Reinhardt for their initial attack. The Defiant's attack on Route 66 was disjointed and staggered. The Outlaws' defense managed to slow Toronto's progress immensely. In the second stage of Route 66, the map opened up, allowing Toronto to quickly move past the second checkpoint. Ivy's aggression on Zarya was put on full display as he helped maintain Toronto's momentum. Despite their efforts, Houston once again pulled out a close defense with spawn advantage. Both teams opted to work with an Orisa on defense, but just like NYXL the prior day, Toronto opened with a Bastion as well. The creative comp was quickly dispatched by Dante's Pharah. His versatility was proving too much for Toronto's defense in most occasions. Houston advanced towards the second checkpoint and once again faced a rejuvenated Defiant squad finally removed from an ugly first checkpoint. Aide's performance on Zenyatta in the final minute of Houston's attack helped push Toronto to their second map win and a tied series. Heading into the first map 5 of the season, Toronto needed to take advantage of their damage output by synergizing their strategy if they wanted to complete the reverse sweep. On Busan, Jake returned and offered a more DPS-centric composition with his confidants Linkser and Dante still present. Both teams opted for Hammond and high damage, but Linkser showed off his precision by winning the opening fight for Houston with 2 picks on Ivy and Stellar. Toronto failed to recapture the point in downtown Busan and went down a stage in Game 5. Ivy ran Tracer for much of Busan, with Stellar once again supporting with a Sombra. Linkser's Widowmaker was just superior to Toronto's young DPS to start. Houston's composition simply countered Toronto's with ease to start the map. However, with Aide switching to Moira and Yakpung's swap to Winston, Toronto managed to find their stability and keep their chances alive, with a win well fought on Busan's Sanctuary stage. Down to the wire, one final map decided the victors. Both squads stuck with their DPS-focused compositions for the entirety of the 5th map. As both teams engaged in mecha base, Yakpung began to find his stride on Hammond. Several multi-kills swung the fight in Toronto's favor, and against the odds, Toronto utilized interesting compositions and defeated the Houston Outlaws, as Ivy found several key eliminations on Houston on the final map. Envy's EMP sealed the deal for the Toronto Defiant's first victory in the Overwatch League. For more great Overwatch League content, make sure to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and hit the alert button. Now, from our house to yours, thanks for watching.